Jaya Kunja Bihari. Too fast. I can't hear the cartels at all. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jana Vallabha Jaya Kiri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari. Jana Vallabha Jaya Kiri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari. Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Manachari Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giri Varadari Jaya Giri Varadari. Nandana Rajajanaranja Yashodanandana Rajajanaranja Yashodanandana Rajajanaranja Nandana Brajajana Yamuna Tira Manachari Yamuna Tira Manachari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Privajapacharya Asto Taratat Shri Śrimad Nitya Leela Pravista Home His Divine Grace Srila Abhay Charan Aravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj ISKCON's DBT Founder Acharya Jagadguru Patita Pavana Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brinda Ki Grantaraj Śrimad Bhāgavatam Ki Shri Shri Radha Govinda Ki Shri Yugadharma Harinam Sankirtan Yagna Ki Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanandi. What is that sound? What is that sound? Is that someone's phone?
Yes.
Can that be like squelched? Like not have to hear it every like minute and a half? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nastapareshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Reading from the Śrimad Bhāgavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 32, Entanglement in Fruit of Activities, text number 8. Dviparadha Avasane Ya Pralaya Brahmana Tu Te Davat Adyaste Adyasate Lokam Parasya Parachintaka Dviparadavasane Ya Pralayo Brahmanastute Tavad Adyasate Lokam Parasya Parachintaka Dviparadavasaneya Pralayo Brahmanastute Tavad Adyasate Lokam Parasya Parachintaka Dviparadavasaneya Pralayo Brahmanastute Tavad Adyasate Lokam Parasya Parachintaka.
Dviparadavasaniya Pralayo Brahmanastute Tadvadasyate Lokam Dviparadavasaneya Prayo Brahmanastute Tavadadasate Lokam Parasya Parachintaka.
Mataji's. Dviparadha, two paradhas. Avasane, at the end of. Ya, which. Pralaya, death. Brahmana, of Lord Brahma. Two, indeed. They. Davat, so long. Adyasate, dwell. Lokam, on the planet. Parasya, of the Supreme. Parachintaka, thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Worshippers of the Hiranyagarbha expansion of the Personality of Godhead remain within this material world until the end of two paradhas, when Lord Brahma also dies. Purport. By His divine grace, ISKCON's founder, Acharya, Jagadguru, Patitapavana, Srila Prabhupada. Our dissolution, one dissolution, is at the end of Brahma's day, and one is at the end of Brahma's life. Brahma dies at the end of 2 paradhas, at which time the entire material universe is dissolved. Persons who are worshippers of Hiranyagarbha, the plenary expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, do not directly approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead in Vaikuntha. They remain within this universe on Satyaloka or other higher planets until the end of the life of Brahma. Then with Brahma, they are elevated to the spiritual kingdom. The words Parasya Para Chintaka means always thinking of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or being always Krishna conscious. When we speak of Krishna, this refers to the complete category of Vishnu Tattva. Krishna includes the 3 Purusha incarnations, namely Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, as well as all the incarnations taken together. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita. Ramadi Murteshu Kalani Amena Tishnan. Lord Krishna is perpetually situated with his many expansions, such as Rama, Nasringha, Vamana, Madhusudana, Vishnu, and Narayan. He exists with all his plenary portions and the portions of his plenary portions, and each of them is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The words Parasya Para Chintaka mean those who are fully Krishna conscious. Such persons enter directly into the kingdom of God, the Vaikuntha planets, or if they are worshippers of the plenary portion, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, they remain within this universe until its dissolution, and after that, they enter. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshulmitam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapidam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vinamdam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Surato Pangur Mama Manda Mater Gati Matsar Vasva Padambojo Radha Madana Mohano Dibyad Brindaranya Kalpadrumada Srimad Ratnagara Singha Srimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Pastalabi Savyamano Smarami Sriman Rasarasa Rambi Bamsi Bhatta Tatasti Taha Karshan Venus Vanar Gopir Gopinatha Shri Estuna Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyas Ja Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Dvi Paradavasaneya Pralayo Brahmanastute Tavad Adyasate Lokam Parasya Parachintakaha. Worshippers of the Hiranyagarbha expansion of the personality of Godhead remain within this material world until the end of 2 paradhas, when Lord Brahma also dies. So once again, this chapter is directly being spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, in his form as Kapila Dev, instructing his most exalted mother, Devahuti, just like Prabhupada gives the example that to instruct the new daughter-in-law, the matriarch of the house will instruct her daughter, although the daughter knows the instruction very well, but not to directly instruct the newly moved in daughter-in-law, to not make her feel too anxious or put too much pressure. So Arjuna, Mother Devahuti, they are representing ourselves. What we need to hear, what we need to understand, what we need to face and to contemplate and ultimately decide for ourselves, just like Arjuna and ultimately Mother Devahuti. This chapter, Entanglement in Fruitive Activities, we're on now verse 8. Kapila Dev has been describing the activities of one who's actually pure, one who's actually qualified to enter into the kingdom of God. This thought process of Kapila Dev ended yesterday in the class given by Hadai Pran Prabhu. Through the path of illumination, such liberated persons approach the complete personality of Godhead, who is the proprietor of the material and spiritual worlds and is the supreme cause of their manifestation and dissolution. So now, beginning today with verse 8, Kapila Dev is going to describe in a series of verses the position of persons who are not directly Krishna conscious or who are not directly putting their attention exclusively on Krishna. The beautiful and important verse from Bhagavad Gita 9:34, Man mana mad bhakto, was brought forward yesterday. One should not divert one's attention to other forms of Godhead. One should directly meditate upon the form of the Lord that was present before Arjuna. And of course, that was Govinda, who we're so fortunate to be directing all our attention and all of our life's energies upon his service for his pleasure here in their mandir, Shri Shri Radha Govinda Mandir. The bluish boy, the beautiful boy with bluish color with peacock feather in his hair. The Lord has many other forms, but one should not divert his attention to any other. So here in these verses, starting today, the Hiranyagarbha, who is Garbhodakshai Vishnu, if one is meditating on this form of the Lord, one does not directly go back to Godhead, but one is dependent upon the ascension of Lord Brahma. Each and every living entity is independent, and their relationship with Krishna is unique. So to be dependent upon someone else's success or failure is not good, especially in this material world, because everyone, as we were hearing in the verse from Prahlad Maharaj's prayers, everyone is differently situated because they have different desires to fulfill. And as Prabhupada will reveal in these purports coming up, in the verses here under discussion, people have a different view, a different angle, a different outlook, different desires to fulfill, and in that way there can never be perfect harmony. And even pointing out that Lord Brahma has a particular interest to fulfill. He thinks himself an independent controller, very, very powerful. It's in charge of creation. It's the secondary. He is given the order by the Lord, but he himself is doing the mystic work. So he becomes bewildered and he becomes falsely proud. Just like we see in Brahma Vimohan Leela, chapter 13 of the 10th canto. Who is this 6-year-old boy? I want to test him. So he steals the calves and cowherd boys for a moment of his time, 1 year. And this happened on Lord Balaram's birthday. Actually, you can think Brahma Vimohan Leela, the revelation to Lord Brahma happened on Lord Brahma's birthday. That's why Lord Balaram, because Lord Balaram wasn't taken because his mother, Rohini, kept him home for his birthday celebration. And Brahma was taught a very good lesson, because Krishna himself, he reassumed, or he himself manifested once again all the calves and cowherd boys with their exact same natures, proclivities, tendencies, so much so that Lord Brahma was completely bewildered. He couldn't understand. And then from those forms identical to the original calves and cowherd boys, the Lord manifested all four-handed Vishnu forms with all their glories. Then Lord Brahma came to his senses and spoke perhaps one of the most amazing and beautiful prayers that are recorded in the Śrimad Bhāgavatam that makes up chapter 14. For us, very important and insightful prayers, but at the conclusion, Krishna, according to Lord Brahma's observation, could not understand, he couldn't perceive or tell if the Lord was either pleased or displeased with him. And the Acharyas comment that Krishna, in his ecstatic mood in the Vrindavan Leela, is thinking, who is this Lord Brahma and what are all these big words that he's speaking? I'm just concerned for my calves and cowherd boys, and I want to kind of keep my schedule, because if we come back late, my mother Yashoda will become very upset and anxious. Of course, at the same time, he's understanding who this Lord Brahma is, and he purposely created this situation to teach him a lesson, to bewilder him, but that Krishna's activities with his pure devotees, who have no other motive in mind, are on such a higher platform that no one can tamper, disturb, or in any way alter the fulfillment of Krishna's desires and the desires of his pure devotees. Srila Prabhupada encouraged all of us to engage in the mission of the Lord, to fulfill the mission of the Lord. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who is our Sampradaya chief, Rupanuga Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, who is established within this material world, the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya. We could also say the revolution, fulfill the revolution. And all these songs and from the 60s, volunteers for the revolution. Anyway, you say you want a revolution, well, you know, all these revolutions come and go and fade. Dayapan was mentioning in his class yesterday that any other revolution or movement besides the one of the Supreme Personality of Godhead has a beginning, a middle, maybe a peak, a decline, and then it disappears. Or if the reformers who are reforming that which is bad, which needs reformation, even if they don't become puffed up when they establish their thing to be victorious, and they don't create a situation similar or even worse than the situation that had to be reformed in the first place. But even if they keep it on a somewhat perceivable, honest platform, it'll in due course of time fall apart and disintegrate. That is why it is so valuable to experience Krishna consciousness for a sizable and what to speak of majority portion of whatever little lifespan that we have, because we can see, especially in Kali Yuga, Prabhupada's described Kali Yuga as the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. I just saw in one place he said the age of quarrel and chaos, the age of disagreement. People come, people go, people change. So many things happen. Loyalty is a very hard thing to come by in the age of Kali Yuga. Adherence, all the good qualities that are present in the Supreme Personality of Godhead is when Maharaj Parikshit came upon Mother Bhumi and Father Dharma in the form of a cow and a bull being attacked by the age of Kali personified. And they were speaking to Maharaj Parikshit that our protector, Krishna, who's filled with so many good qualities, he has departed the planet. Maharaj Parikshit, of course, is the heir apparent to the Pandavas, and he took up the, we could say, thankless task of being the supreme Rajarshi on this planet after his beloved forefathers and the Lord himself had departed the planet. How Maharaj Parikshit received the age of Kali. Kapila Dev goes on to explain further the situation of Lord Brahma. After experiencing the inhabitable time of the three modes of material nature, known as two paradas, Brahma's day, Brahma's night, Brahma closes the material universe, which is covered by layers of earth, water, air, fire, ether, mind, ego, etc., and goes back to Godhead. The yogis who become detached from the material world by practice of breathing exercises and control of the mind reach the planet of Brahma, which is far, far away. After giving up their bodies, they enter into the body of Lord Brahma, and therefore when Brahma is liberated and goes to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Brahman, such yogis can also, that means, okay, now you're allowed, into the kingdom of God. One of Srila Prabhupada's first disciples and one of Srila Prabhupada's first female disciples, Govinda Dasi, has finally published her memoir called, what is it? Sandalwood and Roses. Who here has seen this or read this book? Highly recommended. So, prior to her meeting Srila Prabhupada, she was very much into yoga, particularly breathing exercises. And when meeting Srila Prabhupada and participating in the first kirtans and chanting Hare Krishna, especially in the kirtans, she was experiencing this incredible joy and ecstasy, and she wanted to ask Srila Prabhupada how to equate the two experiences that she had, the peace and tranquility of practicing pranayam and the ecstasy of Sankirtan. And Prabhupada explained to her, which for all of us is very common. Of course, she's a brand new person at the time. Yogi nama pi sarvesham yad gatarena matmana shradhavan bhajate yoman soma yuktaktamon mata. Of all yogis, he who worships me in transcendental loving service is the highest of all. Prabhupada's purport. When we speak of loving Krishna, this is the topmost yoga, just as when we speak of mountains, the Himalayan mountains, of which Mount Everest is the greatest. So if one is situated on the highest platform, one has everything included that is there on lower platforms. Because they are not directly devotees of the Lord, they cannot get liberation directly. They have to wait until Brahma is liberated. And only then, along with Brahma, are they also liberated. It is clear that as long as a living entity is a worshiper of a particular demigod, he cannot get direct liberation or entrance into the kingdom of God, nor can he merge into the impersonal effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such yogis or demigod worshippers are subjected to the chance of taking birth when there is again creation. So there's that sound again. What is that sound? So, after saying these verses, therefore, my dear mother, by devotional service, take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seated in everyone's heart. And Prabhupada's purport here is simply extraordinary. One can attain direct contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead in full Krishna consciousness. What an important four-letter word, full, F-U-L-L, full Krishna consciousness, and revive. Not create from new, but revive one's eternal relationship with him as lover, as supreme soul, as son, as friend, or as master. And later it's revealed, in this purport, okay. One can reestablish the transcendental loving relationship with the Supreme Lord in so many ways, and that feeling is true oneness. So when the service of the Lord, when the mission of the Lord, what is devotional service in this world, O Srila Prabhupada, obeisances unto you who are very dear to Lord Krishna on this earth, Bhutale. Why? Because he is so kindly. We're not forced to, out of the benevolent charity and munificence of our purified heart. You are preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Dev. And what is that message? To save all the fallen souls. One who preaches this message. So we're preaching to the non-devotees, but the actual instruction is one who preaches this message to the devotees is most dear to me, and there'll never be a servant one more dear. So what is that? So we just stay inside all day and just preach to ourselves? The devotees one should not approach the ignorant and waste valuable time. Better to prosecute one's own activities silently. It's a test. The following is a test from Lord Krishna, the emergency broadcasting system. The devotees of the Lord are more kind than the Lord because they know what? The inner purpose of the Lord. When Satsvarupa Maharaj was called for initiation and given his name, your name is Satsvarupa, the inner form of reality, or the inner form of truth. Because they know the inner purpose of the Lord. Therefore, they take all types of risks in approaching ignorant men to engage him in the acts of Krishna consciousness. Who are those ignorant men? There are fallen God brothers and God sisters. That's who they are. And by comparison, he is the true yogi who sees the happiness. All of us came to Krishna consciousness comparatively to everybody outside much more easy. Some came right away, some it took a little time, but making up our mind, and most of us did it at a young age, right? People wasting their life, becoming old, becoming jaded, becoming, why are you, Prabhupada's preaching at Palo Alto University in San Francisco in the spring of '90. Why have you come here? Why are you preaching to the young people? You know? And Prabhupada said, why are only young people here at the university? I don't know. It's the age of education, that's why. You can't teach, and then Prabhupada gave the caveat. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. So what a terrible shame. So how powerful are the modes of material nature, and think that I've come to Krishna. This is not, it's a no-brainer. How difficult it is. You know, Krishna comes very easy. God is great. You are small. Your duty is to serve. There it is. You understood the whole philosophy in 1 second. And he's taking hundreds and their whole lifetime. Prabhupada wrote in back completely on his own. What was the exchange rate for rupees in 1944? 300 rupees a month. That's like figure that out. Like
1944?
30,000 rupees, no, much be more than that, you know, like 3 lakhs of rupees, something. I have a clue to go back home, back to Godhead, just after leaving this present lifetime. And I wish to take all my contemporary men and women of the world along with me. Don't think that it is wishful imagination or impossible. It is indeed possible for each and every one of us. And Srila Prabhupada worked tirelessly, to the last breath of his life to do that. That feeling is true oneness. The oneness of the Mayavad philosophers and the oneness of Vaishnava philosophers are different. The Mayavadi and Vaishnava philosophers both want to merge into the Supreme, but the Vaishnavas do not lose their identities.
Back in the 40s, at least when they got independence, 1 rupee was like 14, or $1 was 14 rupees.
So how much is 300 rupees by dollar calculation?
$1944, which is like
$20,
probably
$1944, which would be like maybe a week's salary for somebody, you know, in the United States. Anyway, that's a side note. We have valuable time we have to use here. In the transcendental world, the servant and master are one. Make the words of the spiritual master one with one's heart. Do not desire anything else to remain within your heart. Love for the order of the spiritual master raises one to the highest position. My dear Lord, Haridas Thakur, said the Lord Chaitanya, I think that quite soon you will conclude your pastimes in this material world. I wish that you do not reveal to me this chapter of your pastimes. I wish before that time comes to give up my body in your presence. And Lord Chaitanya said, my dear Haridas, whatever happiness that I have had is all due to your association. It is not fitting that you leave me aside and go away. Go away? He's going to go back home, back to Goloka Vrindavan. How is he going to? My Lord, you do not create an illusion. You must certainly show me this mercy. So it was settled that Lord Chaitanya would come back the next day. And when he did, he asked Haridas Thakur, my dear Haridas, what is the news? My dear Lord, whatever mercy you can bestow upon me. Great congregational chanting began, etc., etc., etc. Although the relationship is servant and master, Dasya Prema, Adi Leela, chapter 5 and 6, Lord Nityananda and Advaitacharya, imbued with the mode of servitude. This gives them such ecstasy. Whatever name was given by Srila Prabhupada, your name is Shrutakirti Das. Shrutakirti means one whose fame is spread everywhere. But you are Shrutakirti Das. You are the servant. Get it into your head. Servant in the material world, oh no, I want to be some type of self-styled kind of whatever, walking around Soho, New York City, like this and that, some type of avant-garde. What we all saw in Washington Square Park Friday and Saturday. It's degradation. It's a one-way speedball ticket, the Shinkansen, 140 mile an hour. Why in Kali Yuga do they don't only have a stairway to heaven, but they have a highway to hell? Hare Krishna. The servant and the served stand on the same platform. That is oneness. Lord Kapila advised his mother that she did not need any indirect process. She was already situated in that direct process because the Supreme Lord had taken birth as her son. So we don't need any indirect process because we are the disciples and followers of His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is an ocean of transcendental mercy, and the empowered Jagat Guru, Patita Pavana. Prabhupada was criticized that actually Lord Chaitanya could have spread this movement all by himself. And Prabhupada said, he didn't because he left the rest for me to get the credit. So we should aspire to simply be those to help Srila Prabhupada fill in the blanks. We be his workers, we be his foot soldiers, we be his Hanuman monkeys, or his squirrels flicking our little grain of sand. Bridge to Lanka, regain this world, regain Sita, give this world, give Mother Bhumi back to her beloved Lord Krishna, save her from the anxiety of bearing the burden of all these demons. She was already in the perfectional stage. Kapila Dev advised her to continue in the same way. If you can't increase, at least maintain what I've given you. Maintenance in the material world is automatically increase. He therefore addressed his mother as Bhamini to indicate that she was already thinking of the Lord as her son. Devahuti is advised by Lord Kapila to take directly to devotional service, Krishna consciousness, because without that consciousness, one cannot be liberated from the clutches of Maya. So this is a very beautiful section. Again, Kapila Dev is speaking directly, and we have the wonderful opportunity to view and understand the inner thinking and heart of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Sarasvati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskita Deshatarane Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.